Is the story of Jesus' birth found in the New Testament historical? Well, first of all, there are two different versions, one in Matthew, one in Luke, and neither is likely historical. Instead, they serve to show us what the rest of the gospel will be about. So, in Matthew's version of events, the Holy Family is already in Bethlehem. Then they are visited by the Magi, astrologers from the east who look to the sky to determine important events and leaders. The Magi come to name Jesus as the King, the Messiah, to show that he is the fulfillment of Hebrew Scriptures and is the Messiah that was expected. After that point, Jesus' early life mirrors the life of Moses. So he escapes the slaughter of innocents. That's a mirroring of the Passover story. And then he travels down to Egypt, where Moses was, and then he comes up out of Egypt, like the ancient Israelites, to the Promised Land. This is to show that Jesus is the new Moses in the book of Matthew, and that Jesus is a reinterpreter of the law. In the Gospel of Luke, the birth narrative serves to show us that the Holy Family is marginalized and that Jesus is especially concerned for those who are marginalized. So the Holy Family travels to Bethlehem. They can't find a place to stay. Jesus is born and placed in a feeding trough next to animals, and then is visited by poor, lowly, ritually unclean shepherds. Luke's gospel is particularly concerned with those living on the margins for social justice. Look at the Magnificat as a perfect example. It's worth noting that there is one more birth narrative in the Bible. It's in the book of Revelation, and it is an appropriation of the emperor's birth narrative and applying it to Jesus, which is fascinating. But none of these stories is historical.